So I'm sitting here with Dennis, and the question come up: how did Pigeon get his name?
It goes back a fair way back at school. He was there with his classmates. He got up on a table, jumped off the table, and when he landed down on the ground, he was pigeon-toed. And they all laughed at the time and said, "Look, he's pigeon-toed." That's where he actually got the name Pigeon. And it was a bloke called David Sostranko. I remember it well. He was a big fella and all that. You could say the king of the actual playground and all that. He named him, and then it stuck ever since then. And then, but if you did notice, he was slightly pigeon-toed, but that was the obvious thing that got his name. So wherever you look, wherever you think you hear stories, that as I know the truth, because that comes exactly from David. He was always David to me, but that's where he become Pigeon.
Cool,
yeah.
Mate.
Easy.
That's a great story. That's
and all the best, mate, up there. Okay, we'll see. Look, hope you have a good time up there with Dad. And I'm not going to look to catch up with you soon, but always thinking.
Eventually, mate.
I'm thinking about you, mate, and hopefully you look at today. Great send off, family and friends all around, and these shirts, right? Hopefully you did.
You done well, mate.
You did really appreciate that.
I know.
Yeah.
We're celebrating you. So my first time I met you was before I met Dennis, and my girlfriend and I, Angela, were in the laneway near the Sydney Joe shops, and we wanted a cigarette, and Paulie Barnes came past on his bike and said, "What are you girls up to?" And we said, "Oh, we're hanging for a cigarette, but where can we get a smoke?" And he said, "Oh, see that guy over there in that brown car, which was your brown FJ? He'll give you a smoke, but you got to be careful. We want to meet you first, and he'll ask you if you want to drive in his car with him. But don't get in his car with him because he'll expect more." So Paulie goes over, brings him back, and David goes, "Oh, hi girls, how are you? What do you want?" And we said, "Oh, can we get a smoke off you?" And he's like, "Yeah, here you go." So we had the smoke and we're smoking, and he's going, "Who wants to go for a drive?" And we're like, "Oh, no, thanks," and all that, the end of story. A couple of weeks later, I met Dennis. A week or two after that, Dennis took me to his house, and in the driveway of the house was this brown FJ Holden. And I'm like, "Oh, who owns that car?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my brother Pitchy's car." And then David walks out and he goes, "Oh, hi, I met you before. I offered you a lift in my car." And Dennis gave him a dirty look.
How did they look like it?
So those boys knew what they were up to.
Oh, yeah. Great story, right there. Go.
So one of the funniest things that I remember about Pigeon was over there in that mall, he came up, he'd worked the night before at the servo, so he was a bit discombobulated, I would say. And we went there and he'd gone through, they were pulling the doors up a little bit, but then they were closing it, and he runs through the whole mall. He's like, please, I need to get the TV, They're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, for me son, I've got to get this TV. They're like, "Yeah mate, we're open in 5 minutes. And he's like, "Oh," and then kind of backed away and that, and I just ran out laughing, like I could not stop laughing. I could have for about 4 hours.
Wow.
You had to be there, but fuck, it was funny.
Cool. And right there, you're saying?
Right over there.
Wow.
Came out over there.
Great backdrop to the story.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
You're on.
I think it's probably one of the first times I met Pidge, and I don't know, he never charged me any Pidge tax or anything, so I got to go up. And do you remember where he used to live in Campbelltown, that 9-bedroom house with everybody in there? And I think one of the best moments, just pulling some cones with Pidge, he had the footy on, just talking footy, and he's passing me his bank statements to have a look to see where all his money's going, so I can call him up the next day. So I'm like, highlight, I'm like, this charge looks sus, this charge looks sus. Yeah, that was probably like a good mem, Pidge. Yeah, love you, Pidge.
I remember the once I was loud as the one morning. It was probably like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was just being erratically loud. And Pigeon comes storming down the hallway just to blast me for making a ton of noise. I was quiet from then on. I promise you that.
Good.
When the kids were always little, we used to go up and see them in Campbelltown, and always had all these rolling machines. They'd sit there and grab handfuls of coins and give it to each one of their kids, and they'll be hyped off their heads for the rest of the friggin' night. Every time.
Well, the only thing I can think about Pidge is me touching his pig and mine and my own. That's all I can say.
Oh, well, mate, yeah, but the content that for everyone that don't know, but Luke looked after Pigeon extremely.
Sure did.
He did, mate. Yeah,
Sure
thanks so much.
No worries. Love you, Pidge.
When we were little, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Whenever we went up there, he'd give us money.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, do him next.
I remember when Pidge used to give us money to go spend at the vending machine to get lollies, and make this guy upset because we'd got off our heads the entire time.
That guy we're talking about. Thanks, mate. Well, with me and Pidge, there's too many stories, as a lot of people here would have to say. But I'm very honoured that with Pigeon, we are the original wild turkey rare drinkers. We shared many a great times together. We smoked lots of POT together, and we become the best of friends, best of mates and brothers.
That was good, mate. That was good. As a kid, Pidge, being mates with Zach, Pidge was the first like sort of safe place that let me just come chill. That was the one.
Even though you could never get my name right, you called me Dylan for around the whole time I fucking known you. You always made me feel appreciated, you always made me feel welcome, and thanks for being you, Pidge. Love you, mate.
How's it going? First time I met Pigeon, he was just standing at a bus stop talking to my mum. He offered me and my friend to go have my first job and mow his lawn. Went down there. He asked me if I ever mowed a lawn before. I said nah. Started mowing the lawn to show me. Pretty much had half the lawn done. Had to take the lawnmower off him, finish the lawn, and then he still gave us the money. We went to the internet cafe and had the best time of our lives.
Cool.
Got a story for you. When Pigeon was stuck in the bathtub for hours on end. He couldn't get out. He couldn't get out, so we all had to help him. We had to ring Zach and get him to come round and help us. Yeah.
Cool.
So, the funny story I suppose that I'd say would either be A, when he woke me up for my first day at work ever to abuse me. Why is that focused on Milan, not me, but anyway. To abuse the fuck out of me over wearing short shorts to work, despite the fact that I was very much not wearing short shorts to work, and he went absolutely psycho, like psychotic. Or when me and Sarah used to shit stir the fuck out of him, and Gary, and we'd make so much noise.
Sarah. That's Sarah.
We'd be in the room making so much noise, and then Gary'd get the shits and tell Pigeon. He'd come storming in, and we had a method. She'd turn the TV off, I'd turn the light off, dart into bed, pretend to be asleep. He'd come in, he's like, Gary, you're fucking causing issues for no reason. We got away from it for years. It was great. That's what I'd say.
Cool, thank you.
So my story would have to be the time where Pigeon wanted to make spaghetti bolognese. Went down to the kitchen to find that there was no pots and pans anywhere. So he told me and Brooke to get in the car and go to the mall. We went to the cheap shop, and he couldn't handle the fact that no pots or pans were under $20. So he decided to storm out of the shop with Brooke and I, probably 14, 15 years old, screaming to every person that he could see that we were having no dinner because we didn't have any pots and pans and it was all our fault. When in reality, it was actually Zach's fault because he was throwing parties and they were doing some cooked shit with pots and pans.
Fair enough. Thank you, mate.
Oh, mate, well, I've known David for probably 20 years of my life. Dave was a funny guy, a great guy. We had some good times together, but if you're asking me a story about one I remember, I don't remember a thing with David because we're always off our face. It's a fact of life.
It's expected.
Story about me and Pidge, you can't be told. It's a secret. I have to kill you. I have to kill you.
I won't say a word, I promise.
I'm Kylie, and I met David while he was in hospital, unfortunately. But I loved seeing him around his family, and the amount of times I heard him go, "Oh, fuck off!" And yeah, he was one of a kind, and yeah, I just loved that he was with family and he could be himself. That's me.
Thank you. Cool. Your turn, love.
Hi, I'm Amber. I worked with MacArthur, who's helped support David through his 3 years with us. I actually haven't ever met David, only via pictures and phone calls, and loved seeing him with Tiny on his bed all the time. So that's my fondest memory.
I'm Carly. I'm Mercedes. And we're from MacArthur. We're his support workers. Yes, we were. Our favourite moment with David was probably when we all tried to give him the nebulizer each shift, and he would say, "Get fucked." Yeah, I'm not doing it. Fuck off, get fucked, I don't like ya. Yep, or we would both say quite regularly, "Are you okay, David?" And he would both tell us to fuck off. He'd tell us to fuck off with that shit. I'm fine, I can walk.
I wouldn't expect anything different.
No. Yes, but God rest his soul. Yeah. We miss you, David.
Thank you.
My funniest memory of Pigeon is when I took him to the mall, and we went to the mall. I went to go and get a drink, and he said he was going to go for a ciggy. And then I've got my drink, and I'm like, turn around, and I'm like, okay, he's still not back. So I go and check the smoking area to see where he is. He's not there. So I'm like walking around the whole mall looking for him. And I'm like at my wit's end, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. No, I've completely lost him. Can't ring him. And then I turn around and I see this great big bum, like the whole bum, walking along right in front of me. It was like a big full moon was out. And I was like, there he is! And he was just walking out with his bum hanging out, the whole bum. He was just walking around, living his best life with his bum hanging out. And I was like, oh my God. I'll never forget that.
Best memory was Dave. He taught me how to drive, sat me on his lap when I was about 6 years old, 7 years old, in his FJ, and yeah, showed me how to drive his, taught me how to drive.
Cool, weren't they column shift, eh?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
so, it was good, yeah.
Okay, my first memory was with Pidge, when he come home with Dad and Sue from the pub, and he caught 18 baby mice in our dirty house that we fucking lived in. From that day on, I loved him. I jigged school at his house, he forged Dave's signature for me, got me on the weed. Then he followed me everywhere I fucking went, mate. Even got a job at the pub that I worked at. He got sacked from there from betting on the job, but he got warned many times. So then he got a job at the club. And then we got pregnant and had Mariah, so I guess that was
meant to be.
And then we got our first place together at Harris Park. Then moved to Marylands and had Zach. And yeah.
But you sure your old man hasn't got any more kids?
Who knows?
No, really ill, I don't know.
Is this Pigeon we're talking about? Who knows?
Okay, you want to hear a story about Dave? Well, I'll tell you something that I thought was really funny, and it's been in my head pretty much all my life, ever since Dave was born. He was about 3 years old, and his mum used to walk from round near Callan Park in Leichhardt, right, around to a street called Pashley Street in Balmain, which is roughly about 4 kilometres. And back in them days, there was still a fair bit of traffic around, but nothing like now, but it was quite busy. Anyway, one day I happened to be at home, I think it was on a weekend, and I was, you know, I was sort of fairly youngish, you know, a bit old. I think I was around 10 or something like that. And Dave's, all of a sudden, 3-year-old kids rocked up at our place. And we looked at him and thought, Dave's here. So I've called out to Mum, Dave's here. Because I was looking around for his mum, Mary, and she wasn't about. You know, so Mum panicked a bit, and she's rung rung his mum and said, is Dave over there? She said, I can't find him. She said, he's over here. So he's gone from Leichhardt across the Balmain, 3 years old. He's crossed main roads and all that sort of stuff, and he could hardly talk at the time. 3 years old, he was having trouble trying to talk.
Run his own race back then.
Yeah. So he had a good memory. He remembered the way, because his mum used to walk there, see, hold his hand, and and that's it just cracked us up. We just the whole family remembers it. It's funny.
Man, thanks, right?
Yeah, so no worries.
All right, thank you so much.
Got some good memories of him. But yeah.
Hello, little Charlie.
All right, here's one. David liked Boy George
Okay.
back in the 80s.
Yep.
So Dennis had just bought a record player because they were very expensive in those days. So David went out and bought me the Boy George album. He gave me the album. He said, don't you ever tell anyone that I gave you this album. So I think he was secretly a Boy George fan. But nobody would expect that.
Well,
but
he's secretly an Apple fan too, did you know
it's
that?
out now. But yeah, I
It's
never
out
told
too.
anyone for a long time.
Oh, good.
He used to like Come a Chameleon. Yeah.
Bit like
All right.
Mamma Mia too.
That's mine, otherwise I'd be here all day with stories
Thanks,
about
Sharon.
him.
No, that's good, man. Thank you.
Memories of Dad. Okay, I can remember that he was always the best gift giver, I guess you could say. I got my first mobile phone from from Dad, and Mum completely lost it one year. Like she was like old enough, you know, she'd be able to have a phone, But Mum went psycho. But then little did Mum know, the following year after that or so, he came and gave me my first bong. It was a ceramic bong about this big with dolphins all over it. It was like my favourite thing at the time. I loved dolphins. And so he came home bearing this awesome gift that I was absolutely rapt about. My mum had an absolute heart attack over. But yeah, I can always remember that he was always the best gift giver. So yeah, that was Dad. Pigeon best for when I'd be fighting with my mother, so I'd go to Pigeon's caravan and hang out there, fall asleep on the bunk bed, so I knew I was always safe when it come to Pigeon. Yeah.
I love my Poppy Pigeon and will miss him very much.
Alright, well when you finish that coming, I need to see you in the bathroom.
Right, anytime you're ready, mate.
I think we're going back to 2009 when Hitch first came to Ingham's, and we were working in hatchery, washing boxes and things like that. Struck a friendship. Friendship grew into weekly visits, where I'd take a wild turkey rare, we'd go and smoke some weed together. This happened for 13 or 14 years, I think it was, until he moved out from Campbelltown. But yeah, always been mates. Plenty of time for him, just as he has plenty of time for everyone else. An absolute gentleman and a legend of a guy.
Yeah, so when I first met Dad, right, we're out front of his house in Campbelltown, the Campbelltown house. Yeah. And we're standing out front there. Did it turn off? I'm standing out front there, and a motorbike chase fucking some kind on a Harley come fucking zooming past, and me and Dad were literally running outside. I was like, what the hell is going on? And he turns around and he's like, no, that's Campbelltown for you. So that was pretty funny. But I love you, Dad, and literally you're always here in my heart, and I cannot wait to see you again. I love you, Dad.
Fuck, my funniest memory is when I locked him inside the car at my pop's 60th birthday, I think, and he couldn't get out, and when people come inside the restaurant saying there's a man locked inside the car, and we're like, what? And then we got out and seen Dad was locked inside the car. And then I let him out, and then he screamed the place down and chased me and tried to kill me. It was the most fucked up, funniest thing ever. People to this day still remember, and it was like 8 years ago. He did not know how to get out of his fucking car. And I said, like, all you gotta do is like, you know, like the new cars. He doesn't know the new cars because he's used to like those fucking side ones. And he went through the whole restaurant saying he was going to kill me. And he was stuck inside the car for I don't know how long, like 10 minutes or something. And that is literally, I think, my funniest memory. Even though it was very scary, it was my funniest memory.
Scary / happy.
Yeah, scary / funny. I don't know. That was a memorable one, I guess.
My favourite story with my dad. So, it's a hard one to remember, but I won't ever forget it. I think I was about 3 years old, and Dad used to drive me around in a delivery van. And I remember one time we used to go to the factory or whatever where they store everything, you know? And there was these shelves you could climb, like at Bunnings Warehouse, if you could climb the Bunnings Warehouse shelves. And I climbed the fuck out of it, you know? I remember I was at 4 shelves high, and I'm by myself, don't know where Dad is, but he told me, he didn't tell me shit. I was on this cardboard box at the top of shelf 4, and I just looked down at the bottom. I thought, yeah, if I shuffle like this cardboard box, I'll be right. Boom, I wake up. We're at Hungry Jack's. I'm at Hungry Jack's, Dad's there, how you going? Good, good. He's like, here, take this. It's a cup full of ice. To put on my big 2 black eyes that I just copped from going 4 stories down fucking the shelves, you know? It turns out I committed to those shelves, landed on my fucking face, about 3-4 years old, and instead of taking me to the doctors or anything, Dad took me to Hungry Jack's to get to a cup of ice. And I never forget, Mum still doesn't forget it to this day. She picked me up, I had the 2 black eyes, and she thought I'd been fucking bashed, and I've never been the same since. Cut!